We have yet another one of Elliot Rodger's little spawns. This time, a guy by the name of Tres Genco. I'm guessing that's how you pronounce his name. He is 22 years of age, and he has admitted that he was an incel. Like, that's literally how he has identified himself. And more than admitting he's an incel, this guy plotted to slaughter 3,000 women at Ohio State University. 3,000 women. That's probably a vast majority of the female student body, if not all of them. But let's go ahead and see what they're talking about. A self-described incel has admitted in federal court to planning a mass shooting at Ohio State University, officials said. Tres Genco, age 22, pled guilty Tuesday to attempting to commit a hate crime, an offense which carries a possible life sentence as the plot involves attempts to kill, according to the prosecutors. Genco was arrested in March 2020 after someone feared he planned to hurt himself or others after he barricaded himself in a room with a gun. Authorities managed to get Genco to surrender and found he had an AR-15 style rifle with a bumper stock. Along with a Glock pistol to fire fully automatically, he admitted to possessing the weapons as part of his plot, prosecutors said. Investigators also found writings dating back to 2019 in which Genco said he planned to slaughter women out of hatred, jealousy, and revenge. One note indicated he hoped to kill as many as 3,000 people, prosecutors said. FBI agents said Genco surveilled Ohio State University research sororities online. Genco formulated a plot to kill women and intended to carry it out. Our federal and local law enforcement partners stopped that from happening, U.S. Attorney Kenneth Parker said in a statement. So that's the entire article right there. And for some reason, I don't know why, but this guy looks vaguely familiar. Like this is a person that I've talked about before, because of course this did not just recently happen. It said that he plotted this back in 2019. So he's currently, as far as I know, locked up, or he better be for sure. But you know what's interesting about this story? Well, besides the fact that I read this and I didn't see them mention Elliot Rodger one time, but there could have been a thing where they talked about this, or this was mentioned a while ago and Elliot Rodger could have been mentioned, because, you know, he's the inspiration for all these incels. I call him king of the incels for a reason, because he pretty much was the one that pretty much launched this whole thing. Not saying he was the first one, but he definitely was one of the more infamous ones. Give it some time, they're probably going to make a movie about him. But what I found to be very interesting about this is, I don't know if y'all saw it or not, but there was a video where Jordan Peterson, and if y'all are, not really familiar with Jordan Peterson, he is a very well-known individual who basically speaks to this particular community, such as the guy that you see in this picture. And I believe he was talking to Piers Morgan, and he was basically boo-hoo crying on there, like dropping crocodile tears about, men and the things that they go through when it comes to dealing with day-to-day life as a man, especially when it comes to dealing with women. And for some reason, I could not bring myself to feel bad for him when he was up there crying, because when you think about what he's saying and the message that he's conveying, only a certain handful of people are going to gravitate towards that. And this guy that you see in your picture right here is probably one of those people. Like, this guy plotted to take out 3,000 women on a college campus. He looked up specifically sororities. He didn't look up sororities and fraternities. He had a specific target he was going after, and they said out of jealousy, rage, and hatred. So it was probably, maybe it was some woman on the campus that he knew that he couldn't get with, and now all of them have to suffer. Luckily for them, that his plot did not go forward. Otherwise, we would have been hearing about that on the news. And you know what's so crazy is, I don't know if he put it out there online of what he was planning on doing, or alluded to what he was going to do, and somebody may have picked up the hints. But if he, I guess, was a little bit more low-key with it, he would have executed, interesting choice of words on my part, his plan. And like I said, we would have been hearing about this on the news for sure. And this guy's only 22 years of age right now. If he's 22 now, then he definitely was in his teens when he plotted this out, because this was in 2019. Which means if he just turned 22 this year, he was born in 2000, which means he was 19 when he plotted this, or turning 19. That's crazy. This is a whole Gen Zer right here, having problems with women that early in his life. So he says. So what does he want to do? Take as many out as he possibly can. And remember, he specifically targeted this campus. That's why I'm assuming that whoever turned him down for maybe a date or even whatever the case may be, it happened on that campus. So instead of him being mad at the one person that turned him down, or just, doing the correct thing and moving forward and seeing if he could talk to another girl or another, young lady, he stops at that one and says, okay, he wanted to do that whole thing. If I can't have you, no one can. And he probably saw that this other young lady, or this young lady he was interested in, wasn't interested in him, but was interested in somebody else. That's another way those incels operate. Because notice they say one of the things was jealousy. So it could have been a thing that the woman that he was interested in, or the young lady he was interested in, was not interested in him, but found someone else that they liked, and he got jealous of that person. So now they all have to suffer. Even the ones that didn't even know him. And keep in mind, most of these incels are PC. Not saying that there aren't any out there that are melanated, but I'm saying this. Most of them look like him. And what's so crazy is he kind of looks like Elliot Rodger too, a little bit. Like they could be related. It's in the eyes. And how ironic both of them fall into that involuntary celibate category. Well, Elliot Rodger did, because he's no longer amongst the living. In case y'all didn't know, that's the long form version of the word incel. But these fools is crazy. I think one of the craziest incel stories I've ever talked about on my channel, I can't remember if it was this channel or the original channel, because that's how a while ago it was the one in Canada where the guy was such a staunch incel, and of course he said Elliot Rodger was his inspiration, was when some woman, I guess, turned him down for a date or whatever the case may be, and he got so irate that he decided to get into his truck or his van or whatever he was driving and run over like 10 people. And this was in Canada. Some of y'all may remember that story. He ran over like 10 people in Canada. Just driving all wild, just hitting anybody that was walking. It didn't matter if it was a man, woman, or a child. I can't remember if there were any casualties, but for certain there were some injuries. And I think it ended with him crashing into one of those things that people sit at where they're waiting for a bus, and that's filled with glass. But yeah, like that was a wild story right then. I think he ended up getting a lot of jail time behind that. But yeah, I just wanted to bring that up. But just all I'm gonna say is just beware of your surroundings, because when it comes to these incels and who they want to go after, especially if you're a woman, it won't matter who it is. You may not have been the woman that turned him down or turned them down, but if you are a woman, if you are an XX car carrying female, and they are upset about another female, you are in their crosshair, and you probably have never even met this person. So all I'm saying is just be aware of your surroundings, because these fools out here are absolutely batshit crazy.